Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Fish On. What we're going to do today is we're going to concentrate on fishing a Texas rigged lure. Now, when I Texas rig, that's a bottom bait. It's going to be down on the bottom of the water, down on the bottom of the water column. And there's several different lures that you can use for Texas rig application. I'm going to tie one on and get ready to start. But a lot of times I'll start out with a lizard, and then I'll Texas rig. If the lizard's not working, I'll Texas rig a crawl. Or you can even Texas rig a beaver style bait. And probably one of the best Texas rig baits when a lizard's not working is a stickworm. And we're going to try all these in different presentations. But I'm also, if the Texas rig is not working for me, I'm going to have some go-to lures that I'll go to try to get a bite if the Texas rig is not happening. But we are going to concentrate on Texas rig today, and hopefully you learn how to fish one in all different types of styles. What I'm going to do is see if we can get that in the shot here. I have a 3/0 straight shank hook, worm hook, and I have an 1/8 ounce worm weight with a red bead. And this is a basic go-to Texas rig system. Now for the Texas rig, you can also do 2 beads for a little bit of more clicking noise. But I'm just going to use 1 bead. The lead weight's going to come down on the bead and make a little bit of a noise. So now I'm going to tie it on and show you how to do that here. I take my 1/8 ounce weight and I thread it from the head through. Old age is going to make me have to get glasses. Alright. There you go. I run the weight through, just like that. Now, I'll take and add a bead. I got a red bead. I'll put that red bead on, just like that. Now, I could peg my sinker so it don't move, but I want my sinker to come down and make noise on that bead. Now I'm going to tie my hook on using a Palomar knot. I'll pull some line. I'll go through the eye of my hook. Now I'm going to take and turn it. I'm going to make a loop, and now I'm going to pull this down tight, just like that. Now I'm going to take this loop, I'm going to run it through my hook and lizard, and now come up just like that. Now I'm going to wet it, then I'm going to slide it, we'll slide it down, pull it taut. Now I'm going to cut off my tag line. Then I'll take and I'll pull my lizard down, just like so. Bend the lizard to where the hook comes through. Now I'm going to skin hook it, just like that. That way, it's Texas rigged and it's weedless. Now, that's what the finishing product looks like. Hear that little clacking? The bead helps with noise, and it also protects the knot. Now that we have our Texas rig ready, we're going to have our follow-up lures if the Texas rig's not working for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight into a Palomar knot. What this is a Texas Tornado. Now the Texas Tornado is a perfect lure to use for early spring conditions, which we got because we're not having a typical spring this year. I like to start out with this before I do a spinnerbait most of the time. Okay, now I'll take and I'll come through just like this, and I'll bend it up, and I'll put it right through like that. And as this swims through the water, I'm going to have a spinner, and then I'll have a little bit of a casual paddle tail action. And this one's ready for our follow-up presentation. My next major go-to lure, I catch a lot of fish on it, is a jig. My jigs are made by Atomic Tackle Company, and they're just the jigs I like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a trailer. I'm going to take a green pumpkin craw. I'm going to cut half of it off. This is a 4-inch craw. Put it in my waste pile. Now, I'm going to thread it on. There it is. I throw a jig majority of the time. Another follow-up lure that's real critical to me is a shaky head. Now I'm going to take a round ball head jig, do my Palomar. Alright, now what I'm going to put on this shaky head today is the green pumpkin stickworm. Okay, and I'll bend it. I'll feed my worm on, just like that. Then I'll just pull it up and just skin hook it, just like that. That's a shaky head. We might have to follow up with it if Texas rig's not working. Hey, we're going to take and go to the land of the rising sun, and we're going to fish a neco rig. The Japanese have awesome techniques for bass fishing, and neco rig is a very good spawn type rig to use because it's a bottom oriented bait, and the bass, when they're up spawning and getting ready to spawn, they're orientated to the bottom. I don't have all the proper hooks for a neco rig, but we're gonna try it with what I got. I'm going to take a 2/0 hook. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try a gambler flick shake. It's a gambler shaky head type worm I'm going to use for my neco rig. Oh, saw. Oh. Dos. Tres. And I'm going to take and hook it just like that. Just like that. Now, the main presentation, the thing to do with a neco rig is I'm going to take a finishing nail. Go to Jepson Lumber in Macon and Kirksville and get your finishing nail. Awesome. Yes. So now we stick it in the head of the worm. Feed it in there. We push it in just like that. Now, it's going to be nail weighted. So as it's down there, it's going to be head down, the hook like that, but this is going to be shaking underneath the water. That is a neco rig from our friends in Japan. They use this all the time on Lake Biwa in Japan, and a lot of tournament anglers are really starting to pick it up over here in the States. And hopefully I have a Toyota, Yokohama, Godzilla kind of day. All right, let's get to it. We're going to hit the lake now. All right. Let's see if we can get something today. All right, we're going to start out today Texas rig fishing like I told you. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make a long cast. I'm going to let it sit to the bottom. Then I'm just going to kind of hop it and drag it. Our water temp today is 57 degrees. Let's see if we can find anything. The lake is real low. Real low. So usually what that does when the lake is low, the fish back off the bank a lot of times to the nearest available cover. They'll like come from, when the water's rising, they move up. When the water drops, they keep going to the next available cover as it comes down. Today I'm really looking for certain type of cover and certain types of bottom. What I'd really like to see would be some of that small rock and that sand still under the water. The thing about a Texas rig, you can cover a lot of water real fast. Some good brush piles, boy. You figure there'd be some crappie in them. All right, there's a bite. Let's see if we can get it. He dropped it. I don't know if y'all was able to see that, but my line was tipped, tip, tick. Tell you what, he's on there. Oh yeah, little bitty one. Hey, it's a way to start. Boy, choked that lizard down. I didn't even feel him on there hardly. Felt the tick, tick, tick. Nice little fat belly on him. All right. Caught him on that Texas rig, green pumpkin lizard. Let's toss it back in here in the water and let it grow up bigger. There you go, buddy. All right. And that's the thing about Texas rig, it's a lot of fun. And that fish come off the brush pile where I said there's probably crappie. There's no fish. Oh, there we go. A little bit bigger. That's 2 fish off 1 pile. All right. Texas rig strikes again. There we go. Okay. What there is there's a philosophy. I'm going to cast back in there a little bit further. There's a philosophy that was taught to me by Nate Wellman. He's fishes the Bassmaster Elite Series. He does a lot of stuff for Megabyte Lures for Josh Davis, and it's pretty cool that when you can call up somebody and talk to him, you know, and say, hey man, I'm having a problem. And one of the things that Nate taught me, especially in tournaments, if you're catching fish, don't leave fish to find fish. So we know there's fish here. We don't want to leave them yet. So we're going to back off and fish this a little different, do it a little bit different. Now I'm going to fish this brush pile from a different angle, and we'll see what happens. What do you think, everybody? You think I ought to knock that turtle off his little perch? Here, let's have some fun. Get off of there. Boy, he don't want to go nowhere. Oh, there he goes. Oh, I chased him away. Oh well. Alright, we'll try one more cast with the lizard. Right there. We're going to pick up the shaky head and try something a little bit different here before we move off. When I shaky head fish, I like to use the lightest jig head possible for the wind conditions. And we got no wind, so I'm going with a real light head. Basically, how you fish a shaky head, I'll show you here real quick. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cast out here to that pile. Okay, I'm going to always take your hand and close the bail. Now, that shaky head is settled on the bottom, so I'm going to shake it. And then I'm going to reel up my slack line when I shake it and drag it. Okay, now I'm going to shake it and drag it. Shake it and drag it. Shake it, drag it. Okay, reeling up my slack line. Shake it and drag it. I like how this log lays. It's buried down in. It's got a lot of it silted over. I wish it wasn't silted over so bad. Let's get one right down on the trunk. Alright, now we're just going to drag it as much of that log that's under the water. Come through all the little branches. Ooh, Nelly. Look what I found. Oh man. My oh my. It's like right at the mouth of it. There's another one up ahead. Hopefully I didn't mess up that one. I think I messed this one up. Later on today, we're probably come back in here and take a square bill and run a square bill by these. There's like a stump here, stump there, and there's another stump under there. Oh, there's fish. Oh yeah, yeah. That's bigger. There's our first keeper of the day right there. We're gonna back off these stumps. That's our first 15-incher. Woo! All right. Caught that on our Texas rig lizard. So we're doing good today. That's our first keeper of the day. A little fat belly on her. Let's give her some sugar, baby. Mwah. All right. You wanna see a 10-pounder real fast? Ooh. Oh, that thing got huge, didn't it? All right, hey, we're gonna let her back in the water. All right, baby. There you go. Right there. Oh, yeah. All right. All right. Hey, what we got here is we got a good chop on the water right now with some wind. And I'm gonna switch to a follow-up lure, which is a perfect situation. It's a Texas Tornado that we rigged up for this follow-up presentation. As you can see, this is what it looks like in the water. Has a little spinner. What I'll do is I'll just slow roll it. I'm just going to slow roll it and kind of twitch it and jerk it, and almost like a spinner bait, but I don't want to put too much action into it. We'll hit them with this, and then we'll get the lizard back out on that T-rig. There's fish. Arr. That is a crappie. That is a good crappie. Hey, you want to catch some good quality crappie? Look at that. Choke that lure down. I gotta get the pliers, everybody. If I catch some crappie here today, I'm gonna keep them because this one got hooked in the gills real bad. The hook was actually in the gills. It's gonna die. So we're gonna take it home and have a nice little supper. I love bass fishing and catching crappie. You can't ask for better than that. This presentation works real good around floating docks. You know, if they're here, they're going to grab something like this and they're going to bite it. Just because of the fall rate, the finesse line. You cast a neco rig and you just let it fall slow and shake it and crawl it along the bottom. I'm using green pumpkin because the water clarity almost calls for it. We'll back off where we caught that other fish and throw this in and see what we can come up with. Fish. See, I just let that fish load up on that and I just set the hook. And look at the quality of fish we're catching here. Look at this, people. This is what the neco rig is all about. Come here, big girl. Come here, big girl. Come here, big girl. Oh, yeah. Godzilla. Ichiwa. Stay in your TV. Woo! Oh, man. Oh, my. Yeah. We're going to put this girl in the live well, and then we're going to shoot some close-up pictures and get a weight, and then we'll release her. Oh, yeah. Woo! God. 5.8 pounds. We just weighed her. She's in the live well. We caught that fish. I double-checked my notes because I keep notes of what pound test line that I keep on my rod and reels. That was a 6-pound diameter braid made by Power Pro with an 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. This is the biggest fish caught on Fish On. We are proud to say Fish On catches big bass. You've seen us have a good day on top water. Now you've seen us on our Texas rig and introduction to Japanese fishing, Big Mama. 5.8 pounds, Big Mama. Big Mama. We're gonna put her in live well a little bit longer, then we're gonna release her after she calms down. Whew. I tell you, oh, that jacks me up. All right, it's time to release her. Boy, I hate to see a big mama like this go back into someone's kitchen and somebody eats her. We don't like that. Not when you're catching trophies. We took pictures and video. Now we're gonna let her swim back. I gotta have one more kiss before I let her go. All right. Here we go. Oh man, she's back in the water. She's gonna lay some eggs. That's pre-spawn fishing right there with the Neco rig.